Everything in my bags are here for one of two reasons. One, because it's beautiful, or two, because it makes my life a lot easier. You may have heard the term EDC before, and what that stands for is everyday carry, literally meaning the things that you carry with you every single day. But if you look up EDC, you'll find that almost every EDC YouTuber and everyone who talks about EDC is carrying a knife, a gun, or a flashlight. So in this video, I want to show you guys my everyday carry kits that actually make my life easier. So let's go ahead and get started with the Grams 28 154 City Pack. Grams 28 is a luxurious goods company, and they create some of the most beautiful products in my opinion. They are quite expensive, but far, far cheaper than the designer alternatives like Louis Vuitton or Gucci. So diving into this, one thing I love about it right off the bat is how strong the zippers are. The zippers are YKK zippers, which is a really good zipper brand and means that they're gonna last a really long time without you running into any issues. So let's jump into what's inside the bag. So first, we have the iPad 11-inch with the Magic Keyboard Folio. This thing has been really, really nice to have as an alternative to my laptop because it's smaller and it gives me the ability to focus on work outside of editing. I don't have any editing softwares on this, and so it allows me to just focus on sending out invoices, putting together scripts. So this is something I always try to carry with me when I don't have my laptop. The next thing that we'll find here in my shoulder bag is the Ricoh Super 35 film camera. Honestly, I don't take this thing with me too often because normally I bring my Fuji, which we'll look at in a bit. But it's always nice to just have a film camera with you, especially when you want to disconnect and you don't want anyone around you to think that you're trying to pull yourself out of the moment and hide behind the camera. So this is always something fun to have since you only have so few shots. It's a real film, which gives you the ability to just focus on the moment, taking one shot and then moving on from that moment. The next thing that I have in here is my Tom Ford travel fragrance. This thing's really nice because it obviously looks really good, but it also has this nice magnet and it keeps the glass on the inside protected. This is one of my favorite fragrances I've ever smelled, let alone owned. I absolutely love this thing and I bring it with me everywhere. The next thing we'll find in here is my blue light glasses. These are really nice to have because they block out 99% of blue light, and even though I know blue light is kind of a bit of a controversial topic on whether or not they actually work, I find that when I don't wear those and I'm editing late into the night, it takes me another 30 minutes to an hour to fall asleep once I get in bed. But when I'm wearing those and I take them off right before bed, I find that I'm actually able to fall asleep a lot quicker. So call it placebo or call it science. I love having those glasses with me, and I got them for only like 20 or 30 bucks on Amazon. They're really great quality, and I definitely recommend picking up a pair for yourself. The next thing I always like to have on me is a nice pen. This is one that I got from one of my companions when I was serving a 2-year mission for my church. So this is a very special pen to me. It's a pen that I carried with me every single day and wrote in my journal every night for those 2 years that I was out serving a mission. So I love this pen, and I always like to have a nice pen on me, especially again when I want to disconnect and just take a couple of notes the analog way. Coming into the middle of my bag in the zipper section here, I like to carry this super slim 65 watt Nomad charger. This thing actually charges my laptop, but I prefer not to use it when I don't have to. It's probably about 20% thicker than when I bought it, because sometimes when you're charging your laptop and editing at the same time, and it's using a lot of power and drawing a lot of power from this, I found that it kind of makes it puff up and it makes me afraid that it's gonna blow up sometimes. So I try not to use this for my laptop, but it does work for charging my M1 Max MacBook Pro. So this thing is very impressive and really nice to have on hand when you don't have a lot of space. Then to complement that, I just have an Anchor braided cord. It's really nice to have a nice reliable braided cord because it doesn't get dirty or doesn't bend, and it's always something that you know is going to work. And the last thing that I always make sure to have on me, no matter what bag I'm carrying or if I'm not carrying a bag at all, is my wallet. This is a wallet I highly recommend. This company was actually really kind and sent this to me for free. They sent this to me like 1.5 years ago, and they just asked if I would make them a reel in return. This wallet is from Reform Carry, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone who's looking for a nice new wallet. This thing's nice because it's made out of a really strong Kevlar material. And something that I love about this is watch how satisfying. So this thing is really cool because it's got this little magnet pouch on the inside. You could use this for money, you could use this for coins. Personally, I use this for my Apple AirTag because I don't always use my wallet, but when I do, I seem to never find it again. So it's worth it, even if you're just using the AirTag once or twice, to make sure that you don't lose your wallet, have to go through the pain of getting your driver's license again, canceling your cards. So this thing's been really, really nice for me. The card around the AirTag is from Nomad, and that thing's been really nice as well. This wallet holds up to 6 cards, plus it's got this coin pouch. So it's something that I've really, really enjoyed. I only carry 4 cards in it at a time with my Apple AirTag, so it doesn't get too bulky. but it seems to stay really, really slim, and the material is just amazing. Again, big shout out to Reform Carry. Thank you again for sending this to me so long ago. It has just been perfect. Definitely my favorite wallet I've ever had. Now moving on from the Grams 28 154 City Pack, we'll now jump into the Lululemon double zip backpack. This thing has been awesome. I got it as a birthday gift for my wife. And at first I was excited about it, but I thought maybe it wouldn't have been the best option on the market. Everyone who knows me knows that I will go to any length to make sure that what I buy is always the best of the best. I was initially hesitant because I wasn't sure if it was going to be the best thing that I could have gotten on the market, but of course it was a gift from my wife, so I wanted to enjoy it and try it out. I did, and honestly, I have absolutely loved this thing. Something that I wouldn't have expected that I really loved about this backpack is the double handles. It sounds like a simple thing that wouldn't do a lot, but I usually don't grab my backpack from a single handle because I'm afraid that it's going to stretch the handle or rip it out of the bag eventually, because I often have a lot of weight in my backpacks. So this thing has been really, really nice for me, just knowing that I can always carry it from the handles and not worry about the handles stretching, not worry about ripping the backpack, and just being able to have that peace of mind. So it's been awesome. And on top of that, I really like the form factor and the function of this bag. In the very back here on the first zipper, in the first section closest to the back right behind the shoulder straps, you have a pocket that fits a 16-inch laptop, and it fits mine perfectly. I've had many of camera bags and many bags that are supposed to hold a 16-inch laptop, and this seems to be the only one that does it effortlessly. All the other ones say that they can, and they can hold them, but it seems to be really hard to get out. It seems like it's squishing it. But this one's nice because just like you can see here, it just slides in and out. So that's the first thing that I like to keep, and this is why I use it as my work bag. Super easy to bring around my MacBook. Then heading into the middle section, before we get into that, I do want to say something that I love about this bag, just like on the Grams 28 154 City Pack, is that they also use YKK zippers. And again, YKK is just the brand for zippers. They're the strongest, most durable, and you know you're not gonna have any problems with them. So jumping in here, my first impressions, I wasn't super excited because it doesn't have a ton of pockets. It just has kind of a lot of space. And for me, I usually like to have a ton of options, a lot of places to put my stuff. But this has ended up being perfect for me because it has two big pockets right here, a zipper right here, and then just a lot of open space in the bottom. And like I said, normally that's not something that I would love, but in my case, this has been perfect because of what I put in my bag. So starting at the bottom of the bag, I have this Peak Design tech pouch, which again is a really, really nice material, similar to my Reform Carry wallet. Really durable. I've had this for years and I've only liked it more as I've used it. So before jumping into the rest of the bag, I want to show you what's inside my tech pouch, because again, this is stuff that I carry with me every single day. Anytime, especially anytime that I'm working and bringing my laptop with me, this is always something that I want to have on hand. So first, this is just the bigger brick to charge my laptop, because again, I don't always love to use the Nomad one just because I'm afraid it might blow up if I use it all the time. So it's always nice to have this on hand for peace of mind. And then in my tech pouch, I like to carry this little arm rig. It's got a little MagSafe piece on it plus a clamp. So it's nice because I can use it when I'm filming in the car, when I just need to make a quick video. And I'll show you how nice and easy this is here. Here's my MagSafe phone with case, just slaps right on there. And then I'm able to just move this however I want. I can put this clamp anywhere, tighten it up. And this is so versatile that I don't ever need to have a tripod with me. This always seems to do the job. And it's got a really, really small form factor when folded up. And something else that I do want to mention about this is the MagSafe part has got a soft spot so it doesn't scratch your phone. And the clamp also has little soft patches so it doesn't scratch anything that you're tightening your clamp to. So these are really, really nice to have, especially for somebody like me who's really picky. I would always consider having one of these with you if you're ever filming anything. And then looking deeper into my tech pouch, I have an SD card reader for my SD cards. I have a solid state drive and then 2 batteries for my Fujifilm camera. So diving back into my backpack, the next thing that I like to carry in here is this GoPro case. It's funny because I don't use a GoPro and I haven't for years. I don't mind them, they're fine cameras, but I just don't need them for what I do. But this case has actually come in great handy for me because it seems to be the perfect size to fit my Fujifilm. I like to keep my stuff really nice, and I believe that if you treat yourself well, not only can it last forever, but it can look like it did the day that you bought it without too much hassle. And that's why I like to use something like this to just keep my camera nice. I could just toss it in my bag, obviously it would be fine, but it's nice to have a hard case like this that you can throw this in and just know that no matter what happens in your backpack, that this is gonna be safe. So here's my Fujifilm camera. This is probably honestly my favorite camera that I've ever owned. I don't use it the most because photo and video is my full-time job, and so most of the time I'm using the Sony a7S III, which is what we're filming on here. But what's cool about this camera is it has all the same stats as my a7S III does. The sensor is a little bit smaller, I believe, but the camera and the image quality is amazing. It's 10-bit 422 color, which for those of you who don't know what that means, it just means that it color grades really, really well and gives you a lot of flexibility. It also shoots in 6K and has internal camera stabilization. Now, I will be honest, I don't use any of the video settings on this. I never use video because the reason that I bought this was to still have a camera that I could play around with and have fun, but not let it get in the way of me spending time with my wife. So this is a camera that I always keep with me, a camera that I can just use to take photos of things that inspire me or to capture little moments with my friends or when I'm traveling. Every photo that I take on my camera, I edit. But on this, it has film simulations that allow you to have an edit already on it right when you take the photo. And then you can just import them right onto your phone and have those already edited forever. So this thing is amazing in so many ways. I absolutely love this camera. People say that it's overpriced, but coming from somebody who is in the film and photo industry and has been for 10 years, I can say that this is the best bang for the buck camera that I've bought, which says a lot because I bought this for $1,000 markup because it's the limited edition. Now I will say I bought it for $3,000 and now they're going for around $5,000. So it has appreciated and that's something that I'm really stoked about, but I'm also not gonna sell it, so it doesn't really matter. The non-limited edition of this is the exact same camera, so there's absolutely no reason to get the limited edition. I personally just like to invest in things that are special from the company, and often things that are investments like this. And then on top of my Fujifilm camera, I have the Polar Pro Everyday Filter from Short Stash. And this filter is absolutely amazing. It just puts a little green tint on your photos. It's also a polarizer, which means you can change how the light behaves in your photo, and it allows you to get the shot that you're looking for. So now again, we'll look inside to the pouches of this double zip Lulu backpack. I just keep my DJI mics. These are really, really nice because you can just take them on the go with you. The battery life on them is amazing, and they're obviously just really handy to have. So right now, you'll see that there's only one mic in there because I'm using the transmitter and the mic on me right now. So those are always really nice to have. And then in that same pocket, I keep my AirPods. This is the Nomad leather Horween case. This case has been really nice on my AirPods Pro because I really enjoy the camel looking leather. This has been really, really nice for me, and it's protected my AirPods really well. The only issue is one time I forgot to put them back in the case after a workout and washed my AirPods. Luckily they still work, but they are inconsistent. They don't always hold a charge. So now I actually have another set of AirPods for working out specifically, just that I can keep in my training bag, which we'll look at in a sec. But again, these are always really nice to have. The noise cancellation works really, really well, especially when I'm trying to work in a noisy environment. Everyone knows about AirPods Pro by now, but I still recommend them, especially with this case. They look aesthetic and nice, but they also work really, really well. And then jumping into the right side of the bag, I have just my MX3 Logitech mouse. This is really nice to have because I've noticed that quickly, if I don't have a mouse, my hands and wrists start to hurt and I feel like I start to build up carpal tunnel. So I always keep my mouse on me, not just because it's nice to have, but also to maintain the health of my wrists long term. And then the last thing that I keep in my bag in this pouch here are just this Transurfing in 78 Days book, and then a journal to write my thoughts. So most of the time, I'll just read a page out of this and then write some thoughts from what I learned in Transurfing into here. But a lot of times, if I just have an idea that comes to me, it's always nice just to be able to have this on hand so I can just write it down and look back at those notes when I need them. So lastly, we're gonna be jumping into my Michael Kors duffel bag. This is what I call my training bag because I only use this for the gym. I guess sometimes I'll use this for a quick weekend trip, but most of the time this is just my daily gym bag. And in my daily gym bag, I keep these, which are my On Cloud Monster 2 running shoes. These have been awesome. They definitely help me run longer distances and easily have the most impressive technology I've ever seen in a shoe. I'm not a huge fan of the orange and white colorway. As you've probably seen from this video, I either prefer that everything I own is either black or white. I think it just keeps it clean and aesthetic, but these were $40 cheaper than the other option. And I always like to save a little bit of money, especially because I'm really only using these for training. And then if I just wear a black on black outfit at the gym, then it's actually a really nice compliment to have these with a little orange accent. This came with my Grams 28 154 City Pack just to protect it, but I found that it works as a really nice shoe bag. So I always keep my shoes in here to make sure that dirt doesn't go around my bag. And it's just really, really nice to have. The next thing that I have here in my gym bag is this Grams 28 watch case. This thing's really nice because it's meant to hold 2 watches and an additional watch strap. I've actually found that it works really well for holding 2 watches plus a travel fragrance. This one is a replica fragrance, and replica doesn't sell a hard travel case like Tom Ford. So it's really, really nice to know that this is being protected and it's not going to break. The reason that I always carry 2 watches with me, first I have this Movement Sam Colder watch, then I also always like to carry my black and gunmetal Nixon watch. Of course, neither of these are Swiss Movements, they're not Rolexes, they're not anything crazy, but they're both special to me because my Movement watch is the first watch that I bought for myself. And it's also one of Sam Colder's limited edition watches. And Sam Colder inspired me to pick up a camera to get really, really good at it, which ended up becoming my career. And so I always like to have that watch on me because it's just a reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I felt when he first inspired me. This is a watch that I got from my dad when I came home from my mission. So it was a very big sacrifice and a big accomplishment to be able to make it through the whole mission. So this is just a good reminder to me that I can do hard things and I can keep going after my goals. And of course, my dad did a really good job customizing it. The black on gunmetal looks really, really well with a nice white dial. It's just all around a good watch to have. By now you can probably tell that most of the things that I have are either aesthetic, nice to have, or sentimental in some type of way. And that definitely is the case with these watches. And then the reason that I keep my watches with me in my gym bag is because I almost always shower and get ready at the gym. So it's nice to have two different watches that I can choose from because I usually choose the watch that I wear depending on what mood, not as much my outfit. So to have two just gives me that flexibility when I'm changing at the gym, when I'm getting ready at the gym and then about to go throughout the rest of my day. The next thing that I have in here is my training AirPods. These are the same AirPods Pros, but these just have a case on them from the brand InCase. And I really, really love this brand. I love this case. It's served me really, really well. And then the next thing that I keep in my duffel is just this small Bible. It's funny, this is called the red letter edition because every time Jesus Christ speaks, it's written in red. And I'm grateful for this because I remember telling a friend, hey, I would really love to get myself like a red letter because I had heard about the red letter where you can tell the difference between when Christ is speaking and when somebody else is. And then I was on a trip shooting supercars on the Oregon coast. It was a 2,000-mile road trip. And I was just about to get a shot with my FPV drone. And right before I did, this guy came up to me and he was just like, I just feel like I need to give you this red letter edition Bible. And it literally was something I had just been talking about. This is nice to have. This is mainly in here, not for the gym, but for when I take this bag on my weekend trips. I usually like to read 1 or 2 scriptures a night, so it's just nice to have that with me. Then the last thing that I keep in here is always just a little something for fuel. So I really, really enjoy the Honey Stinger. These are nice because if you take one of these halfway through a run or through biking or whatever it is, it will restore your energy and give you a second wind to just keep getting after your exercise without having to fight your form, so you lower your chances of getting injured. That's really all that I have on here on a daily basis. That's all that I keep in here. Of course, every single day I'll change what outfit I put in here to change into. But guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope that you like this. If you did, please subscribe. And if you want to see more like this, or if you want more videos of the specific products that I talked about, please let me know and I'll definitely make sure to consider that. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow.